Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Even if the Universe Supreme Masters were using all the techniques they had, Luofeng was still completely safe in Boat of Mausoleum. After all, after its recognizing Luofeng as its master, Luofeng knew all the power of Boat of Mausoleum. Besides, he concentrated on the deal proposed by North True Star Master. A deal with me? Luofeng was shocked, and thoughts flooded his mind. Who's Eastern Emperor ancestor? He was the ancestor of the oldest holy land of Universe Ocean, and he was also the richest one. What kind of deal? Luofeng transmitted his voice. North True Star Master relieved as he finally got a response, as it was better than nothing. North True Star Master transmitted his voice to the surface of Boat of Mausoleum. First, congratulations for getting the inheritance of Duandong River. About the deal, our ancestor said that he needs the inheritance, an inheritance you're about to get. Of course, the ancestor doesn't care about the valuables, memory inheritance is all that matters. Memory inheritance? Luofeng sneered. North True Star Master, don't you think Eastern Emperor ancestor is overthinking? I got the inheritance after defeating hundreds of thousands of competitors. Why does the ancestor think he can just take my inheritance? Don't even count on it. We can offer everything. North True Star Master wasn't angry. He went on saying, our race has the oldest holy land out of Universe Ocean, much older than that Purple Moon Holy Land. We also got lots of inheritance, and we even know some hidden secrets of Universe Ocean, and we also have the most supreme true treasures. As long as you say yes, the hidden inheritance, the secrets and even supreme true treasures, just name your price. No deal, answered Luofeng. Luofeng was indeed tempted by the offer. After all, Universe Ocean was so mysterious and there were so many unknown things. Eastern Emperor ancestor might know the best. Secrets, supreme true treasures, they were all tempting him. However, memory inheritance was the utmost important thing in Duandong River bloodline, and he had made a vow, he couldn't betray the vow. North True Star Master said, it's just memory inheritance. Say no more. If this is the deal, then don't think about it, said Luofeng. North True Star Master had expected this to happen. Eastern Emperor ancestor had already told him that he didn't have much hope, and he also said that an inheritance that only had one inheritor each generation must have a way to prevent secrets from being let out. How about part of the memory inheritance? Asked North True Star Master. Part? Luofeng didn't refuse it. Which part does the ancestor want? North True Star Master rejoiced in his heart. It was good as long as the conversation was still going. Of course, the practice experience, said North True Star Master. Our ancestor wants the more complicated experience. Your ancestor truly knows what's the most valuable. Luofeng grinned. Among the memory inheritance, there were 3 techniques left by the 3 ancestral teachers, which was the core of the core. There was normal core memory inheritance, which was gathered by each generation of Duandong River and recorded the experience of other supreme beings. There was also ordinary inheritance, which was made up of over 100 million memory stones, and they were all basic inheritance, and only few of them could surpass true gold level. Without doubt, extremely complicated practice experience was invaluable. Even the experience from great beings outside Duandong River would be included into the core inheritance if it was collected by Duandong River. That Eastern Emperor ancestor wanted that kind of inheritance, which meant he knew how important it was. Unfortunately, extremely complicated and sophisticated practice memory inheritance was all core, so Luofeng couldn't let it out at all. Perhaps I can trick him. Luofeng thought. My race doesn't have a solid foundation, and we don't have enough valuables. Perhaps I can trick that Eastern Emperor ancestor into giving me some supreme true treasures, then we humans will be much stronger. After all, he was the only one who knew about Duandong River inheritance. Which meant it was likely that he could succeed. And there was no downside even if he failed. Eastern Emperor ancestor wouldn't just rush out. The 2 ancestors didn't get out of Holy Lands during the inheritance in Boat of Mausoleum, and neither did they show up when he was being encircled. Obviously, there was something stopping them from getting out. Even the inheritance from Duandong River didn't persuade them to get out, not to mention some supreme true treasures. Part of the inheritance. Thoughts flooded Luo Feng's mind. He said coldly after making up his mind, even I can't give out the inheritance of Duandong River. It's possible. North True Star Master secretly rejoiced as he knew a lot from Eastern Emperor ancestor. He immediately added, of course, we won't force you to leak the information that you're forbidden to leak. Our ancestor only wants the practice experience. Duandong River is so ancient, so it must have gathered lots of training experience of other supreme beings. You can just exchange those with my race. That ancestor indeed knows a lot. Luo Feng was shocked. Unfortunately, that Eastern Emperor ancestor didn't know that even the training experience of great beings outside Duandong River was included in the core inheritance. No wonder it's Eastern Emperor ancestor, he indeed knows a lot, said Luo Feng. There's indeed some experience of great beings outside Duandong River. North True Star Master got more excited. However, there was only inheritance of 3 supreme beings, said Luo Feng. It might be more than 3. North True Star Master thought to himself, but he didn't ask more questions. Milky Way Horde Leader, name your price. Our ancestor wants the inheritance from those 3 great beings, said North True Star Master. We can talk about my price later, said Luo Feng. Doesn't the ancestor know that the memory inheritance that surpasses Universe Supreme Masters is affected by the will of the original universe? Of course, he knows, said North True Star Master. However, Duandong River should be using something like memory stones to store the information. You're not powerful enough to know the information, yet our ancestor has already transcended the incarnation. Just give the objects like memory stones to our ancestor, and he can see it. Luo Feng was dazed. That was right. Though he couldn't see it, the great beings who transcended incarnations could. Can we talk about your price now? Asked North True Star Master. 10 supreme true treasures, the hidden inheritance of your race, and the secrets of Universe Ocean, said Luo Feng. North True Star Master was shocked. It was a huge price. 10 supreme true treasures. Even in Eastern Emperor Holy Land, there were only few supreme true treasures as the ancestors never went out of Holy Land and only Universe Masters adventured Universe Ocean. Besides, the supreme true treasures were largely owned by Universe Masters themselves, so there was only a limited storage. If it was Purple Moon Holy Land, it might need to take supreme true treasures from other Universe Masters and Universe Supreme Masters. Even it was Eastern Emperor Holy Land, it might use up all its storage. This is, North True Star Master wanted Luo Feng to cut down his price. Our race knows a lot about secret inheritance and secrets in Universe Ocean. What inheritance? What secrets? Those are just additional things, yelled Luo Feng. Do you really think the secret inheritance you know can rival mine? As for secrets, those are just secrets a long time ago, and I just want to satisfy my curiosity. I have no problem not knowing them. North True Star Master felt helpless. 10 supreme true treasures it is. Besides, I need one for each category, said Luo Feng. North True Star Master was infuriated. It was not that easy. Even Universe Supreme Masters needed to fight for supreme true treasures. The Supreme Masters from Eastern Emperor Holy Land were relatively weak as they didn't have their small universes anymore, so they rarely went out. As for Universe Masters, they couldn't match other Universe Supreme Masters, so they only had a few supreme true treasures. Luo Feng wanted 10? Didn't he understand that even the Divine Eye clan only had around 10 supreme true treasures after 3 universe eras? Especially after the war in Boat of Mausoleum, there weren't even 10 anymore because 2 true masters died. Quickly make your decision. I don't have time to say long, said Luo Feng. You're too demanding. I need to ask our ancestor, said North True Star Master. Go, quickly. Luo Feng was certain that Eastern Emperor Holy Land could have them as even Divine Eye clan had almost 10 supreme true treasures. Besides, several Universe Masters had supreme true treasures with them this time, so even 10 supreme true treasures were still a huge price for Eastern Emperor Holy Land. It didn't need all Universe Masters to contribute their supreme true treasures. Eastern Emperor Holy Land. In the main palace of North True Star Master. Ancestor. North True Star Master looked at Eastern Emperor Ancestor. 3. Eastern Emperor Ancestor wasn't angry at all, instead, he looked glad. He nodded. If Luo Feng really has the training experience of 3 ancient beings, I can totally give him 10 supreme true treasures. However, we can't just say yes like that. We need to talk to him. Supreme true treasures? It had nothing to do with Eastern Emperor Ancestor. The storage in the Holy Land or the deaths of several universe masters were nothing to the Ancestor. The training experience of those ancient supreme beings were truly valuable to him. However, I need to see whether the memory inheritance is actually worthy or not, said Eastern Emperor Ancestor. I don't want him to fool us with fake inheritance and take 10 supreme true treasures, otherwise will be a joke. North True Star Master felt hurt. 10 supreme true treasures. There were only around 100 supreme true treasures in Universe Ocean. Only the ancestors of the 2 Holy Lands would be willing to make a deal with 10 supreme true treasures. Overhead, there was the endless lava ocean, and underneath, there was the endless black morass. One was burning hot, the other was icy cold. This was the dangerous flame ice region. At this moment, it had become the craziest of battlefields where numerous universe supreme beings of exalted ranks were using their supreme true treasures and thinking of all ways possible to stop that boat of Mausoleum. Yet the boat of Mausoleum continued to advance at high speed. Fortunately, the numerous universe supreme beings were capable of easily accelerating to a speed that exceeded 100 times the speed of light. Therefore, they were able to catch up far enough to hover around its surroundings. No need to talk about seizing it. We cannot even stop it. What should we do if we cannot stop it? Does it mean the 3 of us shall just have to follow it like that, so wherever the boat of Mausoleum goes, we follow? Various groups of great powers were starting to grow anxious yet helpless. North True Star Master had already summoned the 10 Universe Masters under his command and arranged for the siege on the boat of Mausoleum with the combined power of these 10 Universe Masters. East Emperor Holy Land's attacks were indeed powerful and dynamic, but North True Star Master was still depending on a domain-type Supreme True Treasure to establish contact with the boat of Mausoleum for sustaining voice transmission with his godly power. Milky Way Horde Leader, Ancestor has made up his mind, North True Star Master said. A voice was transmitted from within the boat of Mausoleum. Oh! North True Star Master gritted his teeth in silence. How detestable. He had lived for countless years as a Universe Supreme Master, and never had he seen anyone who possessed 10 supreme true treasures at once. Even the 2 great ancestors, before they transcended their reincarnation era, never did they own as many as 10 supreme true treasures, and they had to finally transcend reincarnation before they were acknowledged as the greatest contributors to their clan. That was also when they gained control over their clan's fate. Unquestionably, they became the ancestors of the entire clan. Therefore, the common treasures belonged to the clans, even valuables belonging to Universe Masters and Universe Supreme Masters. So long as ancestors gave the command for them to contribute their valuables, they had to obey. This was because, if not for ancestors, the entire clan would not be able to survive through 3 reincarnation eras. This went to show that even the 2 great ancestors were not able to depend on their own abilities to gain 10 supreme true treasures. What a lucky fellow that human is. North True Star Master's face was twisted with displeasure. The moment he recalled East Emperor Ancestor's orders, he felt even more jealous. First, he had gained what was said to be the most precious inheritance within the entire Universe Ocean. Now, merely taking out some of his inheritance, he had gotten himself 10 supreme true treasures. My ancestor has agreed to the exchange of 10 supreme true treasures. North True Star Master transmitted his message via his godly power. Promise. Luo Feng stood up from his chair swiftly, and with eyes shining brightly, he paced the hall. This was a crucial moment. It was also an extremely important moment for the fate of humanity. If this was his own inheritance he was talking about, the experience he could offer from all the cultivation he had achieved from that ancient civilization would bring about a turning point for the fate of human race. However, a turning point of such a nature entailed a kind of change that would gradually unfold over a long period of time. After all, great beings required long years to slowly cultivate, and no one could guess when the next universe supreme master of the human race would arise. But a supreme true treasure was able to bring about a fundamental change to the ability of a human. What the human race lacked was a supreme true treasure. If 10 supreme true treasures could be given to them, a few of their top-tiered life forms, especially Huge Axe Creator, could be equipped with 2 or 3 supreme true treasures. Then he would certainly be able to run rampant throughout Universe Ocean, just like Teacher Origin had before he was suppressed. As for Primal Chaos City Leader, Darkness Master, Pengong Master, and a few other top-tier figures, if they owned some supreme true treasures, they could be like Dear Bugmaster and the few others who reigned predominance when they were within Universe Ocean. They were fearless even in the face of universe supreme beings. With such a superior power, the human race would become stronger. Luo Feng's mind was churning at high speed. The coming negotiation will be crucial. East Emperor Ancestor will not foolishly hand over 10 supreme true treasures right away. This negotiation will determine the fate of humanity. Ancestor might have promised, North True Star Master started to say, but Milky Way Horde Leader, we need you to be clear about one condition. After all, we are talking about 10 supreme true treasures. Within Universe Ocean, not a single group of powers would be able to take 10 supreme true treasures out so readily. Our ancestor has to practice vigilance too, so I will need to first verify the authenticity of the inheritance that Milky Way Horde Leader has given. Once I have verified that everything is real, I will hand over 10 supreme true treasures right away. Verify? Luo Feng snorted coldly. How do you verify? Of course, East Emperor Ancestor will personally take a look at the inheritance because only Ancestor will be able to confirm the authenticity, North True Star Master said. North True, are you taking me for a fool? This is a memory inheritance. One look at it, and you can learn all about it. If East Emperor Ancestor were to look at it, he would be able to learn all about it. By then, should he decide to change his mind about giving me the supreme true treasures, what could I do? Luo Feng was furious. And verifying its authenticity based on what you have just mentioned is solely dependent on East Emperor Ancestor's judgment. I think you are taking me for a fool. Let's talk things out, North True Star Master quickly replied. No matter what, we have to verify the authenticity. If not, what if you have given us something fake? By just handing over 10 supreme true treasures, what would we from East Emperor Holy Land? All right, Luo Feng said curtly. Since you all are so worried, let me suggest something. If you are not agreeable, then we shall call off the deal. What did you have in mind, Milky Way Horde Leader? North True Star Master replied. Luo Feng was firm and decisive. The proposal I have is simple. I have an inheritance of the ancient civilization that includes the cultivation experiences of 3 ancient existences, and the 3 different sets of cultivation experiences are stored in 3 different memory stones. Your side will first hand over 3 supreme true treasures as collateral. I will give you 1 memory stone in exchange. Your East Emperor Ancestor will look and judge, since you say that he will naturally be able to tell if the stone is real or fake. Whatever he decides, real or fake, I simply can't be bothered to ask, but the bottom line is, if you want the next memory stone, you have to give me another 4 supreme true treasures in exchange for it. As for the last memory stone, you will need to use the remaining 3 supreme true treasures in exchange for it. Luo Feng was in a strong position. He paused, then added, this is my only proposal. If you find it agreeable, then we have a deal. If not, so be it. This is asking for too much, North True Star Master immediately said. 3 supreme true treasures as collateral? Milky Way Horde Leader, if the memory stone is not the real thing, then isn't it like our 3 supreme true treasures will be gone for nothing? No, this is definitely not acceptable. I think it is better for you to first ask East Emperor Ancestor. Luo Feng sneered unfeelingly. I believe 3 supreme true treasures may be massive to the other clans, but to East Emperor Holy Land, they are nothing much. If you are so stingy with such a small price, then you can forget about this inheritance. North True Star Master was negotiating with Luo Feng while reporting the situation to East Emperor Ancestor. This deal was highly influential, so North True Star Master did not wield such authority to act as he pleased. But for East Emperor Ancestor, As one of the greatest existences throughout the universe ocean, he would not fall under Luo Feng's influence easily. He instructed North True Star Master decisively. For the 3 memory stones, he said, the first one will have 1 supreme true treasure as collateral. I will use this to verify the authenticity of the memory stone. For the second round, we will use 5 supreme true treasures to exchange for the next stone, and for the third round, we will use 4 supreme true treasures to exchange for the final stone. The negotiation process had both sides speaking with gritted teeth. They both took firm, resolute stands. Various means were deployed, all of which served to sound out each other's baselines. Between them, North True Star Master played the role of the messenger. The deal between Luo Feng and East Emperor Ancestor was finally settled. The terms of the deal were, for the first round, 2 supreme true treasures would be used as collateral, and out of the 2, 1 was to be a palace-type supreme true treasure. The reason Luo Feng made such a request was because if he wanted to wander and roam in the 3 most dangerous lands within Universe Ocean, a palace-type supreme true treasure would be urgently required, which made it extremely precious. For the second round, 4 supreme true treasures would be used to exchange for the next memory stone. For the third round, 4 supreme true treasures would be used to exchange for the final memory stone. The venue for exchange, within Universe Ocean, inside the degenerated and dilapidated miniature universe number 00921. The time, further notice would be provided upon Luo Feng's safe return to the primal universe. Inside the boat of Mausoleum. Ha ha ha, Luo Feng could hold back no longer and let out a hearty laugh. 2 supreme true treasures. With these 2 supreme true treasures, if Huge Axe Creator, who already has a godly axe, is equipped with a palace-type supreme true treasure, he will have no trouble dominating Universe Ocean. He could be invincible. Luo Feng was very satisfied with this outcome. Huge Axe Creator might have been powerful, but he had yet to be considered invincible. Since his godly axe was an attack type, it was lacking in terms of ability to defend. This was partly why Huge Axe maintained a low profile despite being such a powerful figure. But there is something strange. Throughout the entire Universe Ocean, only the 2 ancestors from the 2 Holy Lands are able to see the information stored within the deeper level of the memory stones. Luo Feng tried to address his own doubts. East Emperor Ancestor has already come looking for me. Why is Purple Moon Ancestor so quiet? When he realized that he was unable to catch me, did it not occur to him to strike a deal with me? Luo Feng speculated. However, Luo Feng did not know much about these 2 ancestors. After all, for countless reincarnation eras, it had always been these 2 ancestors who stayed on. These 2 ancestors must have met with various extraordinary opportunities to make it so far. Now that East Emperor Ancestor had volunteered to fall under his mercy, Luo Feng would not feel any pity if he had to deal a vicious blow. But Purple Moon Ancestor made no move, so Luo Feng was careful to not make a reckless move. No matter what, only the things that are served on my plate are mine to devour, Luo Feng said to himself. I will first settle the deal with East Emperor Ancestor and get those 2 supreme true treasures first. The fact that Huge Axe Creator took a long time to obtain his godly axe spoke much about the difficulty involved in obtaining a supreme true treasure. Star Tower had been a gift from Sitting Mountain Guest, yet the process of getting it to recognize him as its master was the one time he was brought close to meeting his doom. The pair of white wings had been discovered only because Shawu Wings had sensed it. And Blood Ghost Blade. Actually, Blood Ghost Blade was only a blade embryo and did not own any secret technique of its own. Luo Feng had injected it with the technique known as Nirvana Renaissance. Even though it was only a blade embryo, it was stronger than any other supreme true treasure. This was a piece of treasure that he had obtained with his own ability. After all, he had fought against numerous great beings and had undergone various selection processes to finally emerge as the heir to that inheritance. The boat of Mausoleum wandered about. At times, it would even head toward the dangerous areas on purpose. For instance, occasionally, it would charge its way into the lava ocean. Or occasionally, it would charge its way into a windstorm. Deep within the internal domain, even Pinnacle Palace true treasures could be torn apart, but with his boat of Mausoleum, Luo Feng dared venture into dangerous region. This was because he was clearly aware of the power of the boat of Mausoleum, and he had a detailed map of the universe boat, so he dared to roam about haphazardly just to force the universe supreme beings hot on his heels to give up. Loathsome. Amidst the endless black whirlwind floated a palace with a sharp peak. In the palace, 5 true masters of the Divine Eye clan were roaring as they looked out to see the boat of Mausoleum leaving far off into the distance. Escape, escape, escape. Even first true master, who was usually composed and poised, could not hold back his rage and shouted furiously, "Give up. We will give up. It is pointless to continue chasing after him. I do not believe that this human, Luo Feng, can hide in his boat of Mausoleum forever. The path of a great being shall always be fraught with life and death encounters to steal and hone one's skills. I have never heard of any single great being who could steer clear of any battles and yet still become a seasoned and well-trained Universe Supreme Master. Right, if he wants to become a Universe Supreme being, he has to succeed in this reincarnation era. He has to experience the life and death encounters to steal and hone his skills. He has gotten the inheritance of the pulse of Duandong River, so if he truly wants to steal and hone his skills, he has no other choice but to exchange blows with a Universe Supreme Master or subject himself to risky adventures within the 3 most dangerous land. Unless he does not want to become a Universe Supreme Master. If not, he has to undergo life and death encounters, which he will have many chances to experience in the future. The various groups of powers were reluctant to give up. In the virtual universe, on a lone plane before Huge Axe Godly Palace. The various races have to give up in the end, haha, Huge Axe creator laughed heartily. Luo Feng is truly brimming with confidence. I have told him about the dangers lurking in the outside world and asked him to inform us in advance when he has finished receiving the inheritance. I shall personally escort him to safety. I certainly did not expect him to say nothing before directly maneuvering that boat of Mausoleum and charging his way out alone. The boat of Mausoleum is indeed extraordinary, Primal Chaos City leader said, also nodding. Suddenly, a figure appeared. Luo Feng, Primal Chaos City leader said in surprise. Huge Axe creator rose to his feet to express his welcome. Teacher, Huge Axe creator, Luo Feng said with a smile. I have a piece of good news for both of you. This video will end here.